Hi there, Levi. I thought I would make a little video to break down kind of how I might approach lettering practice and sort of establish a handwriting style change. My handwriting kind of changes in different reasons and different applications, and each of my handwriting styles I've kind of learned them sort of by habit and sort of by intention. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a typeface that I sort of want to write after and kind of try to create a standard lettering, simple print lettering style that can be all-purpose. What I've done is I've ruled out half-inch. I'm going to draw kind of large, half-inch. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Here comes Nora. Half-inch lettering heights. So I'm kind of marking those, and then because we'll do upper and lowercase, I also have an X height, and that's the height of the lowercase letter. So I've kind of already ruled this out, but I've got my ruler here. I'm going to draw it first in pencil because I love pencils and I think this is the coolest. I have a Fleur marker that I really like and it leaves a nice line, so I'll do a little bit in that. And then a Sharpie marker if we get to that, because that's super fun. And then this is just my handwriting pen, gel pen. I have some notes over here I might refer to. Anyway, so I have this nice type book, and I'm going to use this for my reference, but right now we're looking at the Futura kind of family typeface. It's got all the different sizes and styles. Hi, how are you?
Good.
And I'm making a little video here showing handwriting style and how I would go about making an exercise around it for Levi. And so here's Times New Roman. And why I like this is because it shows really clearly in this like boldface thicks and thins when I want to sort of tailor style around that. And I like that a lot too. Maybe we'll come back to that. And then I probably have some other things flagged here, but today I think the most beautiful face for this purpose is sort of modeling after Helvetica. And so here's sort of the bolder faces, and then there's some slimmer ones. It's really pretty, lighter. So that's cool. And then, so that's the value of this type book, but I like the bold here because it shows up really nicely. And I kind of feel like, oops, when it gets into this black face, it gets kind of weird and not really so good. But I like this a lot too, so I'll be drawing, probably modeling after that. So I've already made my ruled sheet. I'm just being formal about it. And then here's kind of what it looks like as I'm putting them down. I start with capitals. I'm going from the height, and I just kind of try and do it in a nice, easy stroke, estimating the angle, of course, and of the model, and constantly glancing back up at my model up here. Kind of put that in there somewhere. All the strokes should be, straight up and down. Kind of guess the B middle line there kind of falls midway, so throw that out there. This isn't as wide as the model, I don't think, but anyway, so kind of weird, and that's not really great, but whatever. C's, the trick with rounded, as far as I'm concerned, is making sure that the very top and the bottom are kind of vertically aligned. Like that can be hard to lose touch of that. So what I do is I usually, when I'm doing O's or eights, or not eights really so much, but like C's, Q's, I like to start with these 2 points, and notice that this goes slightly beyond because it's around, goes slightly below the baseline, and then I just round out the sides. So this would be C. D is pretty straightforward. I kind of knock these corners in here, and then I throw out the belly. D, E's easy. The trick with E is kind of make sure your width, all your things line up, and then with Helvetica, that middle line goes all the way out to match those practically. It doesn't really, it's kind of like a slight inward, but yeah, whatever. It's better not to have it jutting out because it looks droopy. F, kind of the F width and the E width match. G, again, starting with the top and the bottom because it's a rounded corner, and then I can find that curve. G, pull that down a little bit. There's a stylistic thing to note on this part of a G. Different letter faces kind of do different things. Helvetica has two little, like it makes an arrow almost, but not quite. And that comes into about the H. Kind of knocking these in a little bit quicker. I, straight line, easy. J. There's no bar on J. K. Sometimes you might want to put a bar. The K, the two lines don't bump at the bar, but the top one that goes up comes in lower, and then this crosses into the crossbar, and that's a little thing to kind of keep in mind. M is kind of, the M point goes all the way down to the baseline. N, I usually do again, like the M, I do my M's a little bit narrow, but I would probably try and fix this to make this wider. The N angle is not the same as the M angles. It's wider. O, top and bottom, kind of make those mirror. P is I kind of mark the top to keep an eye on it, and then I knock in this line, it's about halfway, and then I just kind of bold that out, and that's good enough. Q is weird, it's different faces. Go with Helvetica, it's just a little bar that kind of pokes through there. R again, like P. And then this, in Helvetica, this kind of curves and goes down. Sometimes they come out as a straight line. What's after R? S. Okay, so with S, I kind of tried to attack it with one long sweeping motion. But I like to mind that the bowls come out over the points. So if you start here and you're going to end here, this comes all the way out to that point, and this starts where that is. And then this travels in this direction for a while, so there's kind of a middle section. And that middle section should be a little bit up on the high side of the center, so like right in there. Anyway, S's are complicated practice, I guess. T's pretty straightforward. There's a kind of, T's have some width to them, so don't get them too wide like I just did, but and you can knock down the sides, pull that bowl down a little bit below the baseline. V, I like to put in these tops so I can monitor the width. You know that the bottom point's going to be right between them, and then just connect the dots. W is kind of the same way. W is narrower though than two V's, so you kind of might do it like this. So what I've done, outer side, and that comes in, this comes in, and this comes in, and those two lines are parallel, and these are parallel to each other. And it's a little bit sharper than the V. X. Some X's cross straight through. Sometimes they kind of have a jog. That middle line has a jog, but in Helvetica it crosses pretty much straight through. The Y, the nice thing to watch is where these lines come together is kind of low. It's not up here, it's way down here a ways. And then what's after Y? Oh, Z. So Z's a box, can kind of mark the corners. Gotta be careful you don't get too wide, but that middle bar is kind of pretty flat like that, so kind of just pull that out. And then what else? Handy glyphs, ampersand. There's a little loop on the top and a bigger loop below it. Loop. That lines up kind of at an angle like that, and then this comes up. Mine looks terrible, and that's a straight line all the way up. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so lowercase is fun. Now we're going to use the lower. So we didn't really have much that went up to this X height, but now we can do the lower. I'm just going to knock these in quick. A has a weird little tail on it. It's not important, but it is there in Helvetica. B goes all the way up to the ascender, but the top of the B goes up to the X height. C is just like the big one, kind of round that out. A little easier when it's smaller. D, I think. So D is the opposite of B, kind of get that in there. This is a back straight line down, but the B and the D are the same kind of size as the C, so you have three there that are, and the E even. So E mark the top and bottom, and then you kind of get an idea of left and right. That crossbar sort of goes right down the middle of it. So, and this thing kind of comes up pretty close to that, not touching, but close. F goes all the way to the top. It has a small hook at the top, and then the crossbar is at the X height. G is just like the A's and B's, the B and the C and the D. The G is a big bowl, curves down, just kind of comes in close. That lines up there, should anyway. H, I should go all the way, there we go, that's better. J, this kind of just curves a little bit. Okay, again, top one comes in, bottom one comes out. That's 2, there we go, that's more like that. L, M starts with my straight line. I know I'm going to do 2 of these. I usually do it 1 stroke. Pops the top, doink, pops the top, doink. And same thing, pops the top, doink. O, P is straight down, and then kind of a big like the B. Q is the opposite in this typeface, so kind of just does that. Hardly ever use it. I'm going to stop there. So here's my natural handwriting. I'm going to use the flare marker for this just so you can kind of see it work. This is how I normally write. Hi kids. Thanks for the idea of making a video. To both of you, I hope this is useful. That's how I normally write. So if I'm going to write carefully and slowly, I'm going to use a Sharpie for this. If I'm going to make a label, I might say something upper and lowercase. I would say, I have some notes here. So I think that notes are useful for people to read. So this is going to come in. I'm going to use this 1/2 inch. I'm going to use this one here. N. So that's kind of how I would just run it down. I would sit down, I would write some stuff out, I would sort of consult my reference often, and then just grab a marker, grab whatever you like. Pencil, flare markers are fun. They kind of are midway. They can sort of be real stylistic, and I like them a lot. And flare markers are cool. So I like these. These are Papermate, and then Sharpies, of course, are fun. I don't like breathing Sharpies. I like pencils. This is a super soft, like 6B lead, so it can really put in some thick stuff. And it can go light too, so you can sort of moderate your weight. Kind of clunky sometimes, or soft sometimes. Pencils are cool. Anyway, so cool. I hope you like this. I hope it's useful. That's how I would attack it. Good luck. I'd love to see your samples and kind of what you're what you're working on. Jacob, you too. I hope you can use this in your art practice, and love you guys, and we'll see you later.